Hello and welcome to Curiosity's Sake. If you're watching this from Guantanamo Bay, well congratulations, you've been selected to trial a new method of torture. Next we visit two trannies, Emily Howard and Florence. Well, this one is a penalty shootout game. For those of you who watch Match Day, so none of you, I did actually mention this during one of the episodes, but I totally lied. This game I actually found to be the most fun, and it's probably my second favourite game on the disc. I know, I have a favourite game and I can't believe it myself, but trust me, there is one of these which is not good, but it's better than the rest. This one I'd say comes close second. You basically go around kicking a football and trying to get it into a football net. You know, the basic fucking rules of football. As good as it is of a penalty shootout game, it still doesn't hold a candle to Rayman Raving Rabbids. As much as I fucking despise that game with every fibre of my being and every inch of my soul, it still never fails to make me laugh with the penalty shootout minigame. However, getting the hang of this penalty shootout shit is not as easy as it sounds. In fact, it took me a lot of attempts, and it was one of the few stages that I failed during the recording run through. I actually found this to be quite difficult, but not in a frustrating kind of way. I actually had quite a lot of fun trying to figure out how to beat the game. This is what you call a fun game. Even if it's not good, it's still fun to play. I got a laugh out of it, and to be honest, this isn't too bad. I'm going to hell. Now, I remember this being one of the more favourable games. I do have to say that it wasn't exactly easy to clear it, as I've said before. There were so many mistakes to make, and it did take a lot of getting used to. Fuck! Shit!
Out of play.
Yes, sir!
Balls!
Try again, Emily. Ball out of play.
Twat!
Try again, Emily.
Oh, God, this whole fucking thing again.
Go! Emily, have another go.
You're not singing anymore. It's not a criticism, it's just an observation.
After some perseverance, I actually managed to clear the Emily Howard stage. The way of scoring was a little stranger than I was expecting, but hell, at least I managed to get some goals in, which is more than I can say for my so far track record on Match Day. So after that rather fun experience, let's see what this game holds for us next. So the next part of the game is... oh god. Oh no, not that, anything but that. Oh Jesus. Okay, so if you're my mate from growing up, you might want to look away from this because this is your favourite sketch, the vomiting one. Yes, this whole sketch centres around projectile vomiting. Oh joy. But how do you make a game around projectile vomiting? Well, besides the following examples. But how do you? Well, you make it Dr. Mario, of course. Fuck me. No, I'm not going off on that rant again. I am not going off on that rant. But seriously, like, Dr. Mario, are you fucking kidding me? Like,
Jam.
that was 20 years ago. 20 fucking years ago. Can you have done something a little more relevant?
Cherry pie.
Okay. Okay.
Cake.
Let's see. This one might not be too bad. As it turns out, it's not actually that bad. I know, it sounds a bit like I'm giving this too much credit, but I swear, this isn't too bad. It's functional and actually kind of fun.
Gingerbread man.
This is my favourite of the mini-games, just because A, it's functional, B, it's kind of fun, and C, I only have one major complaint. There aren't any tactics that you can use,
Jam.
because you get one item fed at you at a time and only 4 slots,
Cherry pie.
and there are multiple types of items. So how are you supposed to guess which ones you're going to be able to use and which ones you can't?
Cherry
You start a
pie.
little pile of gingerbread men,
Cake.
but then have to make the decision. Do you want to keep going with that pile of gingerbread men, or do you want to sacrifice it for
Gingerbread
some
men.
marmalade or some jam and scones or something? I don't fucking know. The point is,
Cake.
maybe have more slots. On the harder difficulties you do, and to be honest, it really does help.
Jam.
Another thing that I fail to understand is,
Cherry pie.
well, you're trying to make this character vomit, so why are you emptying her stomach?
Cake.
Surely the objective should be to try and prevent her stomach from getting full, so that she doesn't
Cake.
puke it.
Cherry
Kind of like
pie.
Tetris. That would make sense. But here, it
Gingerbread
doesn't.
man.
It doesn't make a lick of sense. Her stomach's empty, so she vomits? Or is she digesting it into bile so that she can use it as ammunition against her enemies? Her enemies being a priest, a little girl, her friend, and some other people? It doesn't make any sense. Also, one of the sound bites actually has the friend going, "Oh no, Maggie, don't!" Like she's
Cherry
going to
pie.
vomit, but there's absolutely no indication that she is, so it makes no sense. But
Custard
apart
pie.
from those nitpicks,
Cherry
it's
pie.
not too bad of a game, and it does have a
Cake.
fucking brilliant finish.
You have won the much desired and often fought over bus seat to Llandui Brethi, where, I must warn you, there are rumors of gayism. But just before we go, let's pop back to Herbie to see Lou and Andy again.
This is the last of the boxes. Now, are you sure
Oh,
you want all
fuck
this
off.
stuff burned?
So we finally finish with...
I am the only
Oh.
gay in this village.
him. Yeah, right. So, basically this is exactly the same as the fucking Vicky Pollard game. Well, not exactly, this one's a little more functional. The control somehow isn't as delayed for me, and I did find this a little more enjoyable, although it was very fucking difficult. The first thing that I noticed was the fact that getting out the way of projectiles is really difficult, because I constantly kept missing the mark and crashing the fucking bike. You also have to run over these stereotyped gays, and you also have to drive past Lafanway. I think that's her name, the woman who owns the bar. Well, you have to drive past her without actually crashing into her. Because if you do, she's an immovable object, and crashing into her knocks you off your bike. Don't ask me how that works, because
You're probably just a little
I've
bit
stopped
bored.
questioning things at this point. I've just stopped caring. So you cycle your way through the village and pretty much pick up copies of Gay
Oh, you claim
Times
to
and
be
get
gay,
points
do
by
you?
running over other gay guys. Why? Well, he wants to be the only gay in the village, despite the fact that this looks like a YMCA fucking stage production.
You're probably just a little
So you
bit
keep
bored.
going for some time until eventually, believe it or not, it finally fucking ends. This one's actually quite hard to meet the time limit, but for different reasons. Constantly crashing into projectiles that are driving towards you, and not being able to
Oh, you
avoid
claim to be
constant
gay, do you?
fucking things getting in the way,
You're
do
probably just a little
slow
bit
you
bored.
down your progress. But apart from that, this
I
one's
think you'll
not
find
too
I am the
difficult.
only gay in
I
this
think
village.
really my biggest problem
You
with
are a
this
most
was the
delicious
fact
and
that I was
most
getting
worthy
bored and
winner.
tired
And
by
now
this
it's my
point.
most well-heavy
I mean,
news
I've been
that
playing this shit for what, an
disintegrating tour has
hour?
come
It was
unto
driving me
supper.
fucking insane.
Here,
So,
we must leave
yeah,
this
you can
country
probably
of
tell how
fine lodgings
unenthusiastic
and
I
bid
am at this
farewell
point,
for now
because this
to
game's
all the
drained it
people
out
that
of
make it
me.
kick butt. But first,
So with that
let us
done,
stay with Daffy
let us
Thomas a little
conclude.
longer. He really is a gay. Good boo.
Little Britain, the video game, and the PC game, is a menagerie of dysfunctionality, laziness, shittiness, sloppiness, ugliness. A game that plays, sounds, and looks like fucking shit. This game has few redeeming features, and those features that are redeemable aren't good enough to make this a good product. If I wasn't more aware of worse games thanks to my recent research, I would declare this to be the worst game I've ever played. Unfortunately though, I've dug so deep beneath the barrel that I've managed to find games a million times worse than this one that have no redeemable features whatsoever. But you know what? That doesn't excuse this garbage. You know what? I had a lot of thought as to whose fault this was. It's really difficult. I mean, when you think about it, you could blame the game designers, but if I was a game designer, I wouldn't fucking try with this shit. If I went to university for 5 years to learn how to program games, and I was told that I'm not going to be making the next Dragon Age, or even the next Call of Duty, no, I'm going to be making the Little Britain video game, at the point where everybody hated it. I won't put a single ounce of effort into this shit. Why would you? It's going to be garbage no matter how much you try. So, quite honestly, I could blame Matt Lucas and David Walliams. But, hell, they do their job okay. It's not their fault that the game's a massive pile of fucking wank. I mean, yeah, okay, they asked for the game to be made, but I think several concepts could have worked. This show was funny, and there were some things. It's difficult to tell without knowing how much creative control they had over the game, and whether or not their relationship with the developers and publishers was as similar to that as Postal 3, in which the company developing it basically closed themselves off from the creative people for months on end. But, you know what? I don't really give a shit. Matt Lucas and David Walliams could have pulled the plug on this when they realised it's shit. And look at Tom Baker, grinning away. Fuck you, Tom Baker. Lying pig shit. So anyway, yeah, that's Little Britain the video game. A complete travesty designed to make money and try to rip off the few people remaining in the world who honestly thought that something good could come out of this franchise. The lowest that Matt Lucas and David Walliams could ever sink. Well, that was until 2011 when they made Come Fly With Me. I'm Professor Curious, and this is Curiosity's Sake. Thank you for your patience in viewing this. Join me next time when I go up to Mount Olympus to meet the gods.
Andy, how did you get up there?
I fell.
What a kerfuffle.